doop. Oh, wow. You can definitely see some cleavage there. Hey guys, what is up? It is Kuro here with KemonoDungeon Fursuits, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this episode, I am wearing my bunny pre-made partial, so it has the head, hands, and a tail, which this suit is for sale, and I'm showcasing it in this video. So if you are interested in this suit, check the link in my video description on how to buy it. But in today's episode, we are going to be talking about how and why fursuit making is just so darn hard. So for those of you who have never made a suit before, fursuits require a lot. You are required to be a seamstress, or a seamster, or however you identify. You're required to be a sculptor. You need to be a tailor. You need to know how to paint. You need to be an electrician in some sense. An engineer, depending on if you are building moving parts. A sculptor, if you are 3D modeling like I do. You need to be a business person. You need to be a public speaker. You need to have insanely good time management skills. So as a fursuit maker, you are wearing a lot of different hats. It is tough. And as a beginner, this can be incredibly daunting and truly difficult to master and learn. As I've mentioned in previous videos, there's a sort of Dunning-Kruger effect when you start making, where you think, oh, okay, I got the hang of it, this is easy. When then you really get involved and you realize just how much there is to learn. There's tons of styles of fursuits. One is kimono style, which is my personal favorite, which is like this guy. You've got chibi style, which is what I feel this one would be more, or toonie style, which is kind of the same thing depending on how you classify it. So toonie style. Then you've got the hyper realistic style suits, which I tried them. I'm not good at them. They're almost like taxidermy. So even there is another skill you would need. You'd need to be a taxidermist, and that's tough. So there's so much that you need to know how to do, and it's really hard. And guess what? All of these skills take a long time to learn. So if you are starting off making your first one, you either are going to be spending hours upon hours researching, or hours upon hours of trial and error, and then probably more research. Let's be real. It takes a long time to get good at this skill. And it's unfortunate that social media has created such a environment where we only see each other's best. We don't see the fails. We don't see the mistakes being made where you have to redo something. For example, on this head, I had to redo the ears quite a few times. Just weren't coming out, weren't looking right. Finally settled on something I liked. But had I just left it or gotten discouraged, I never would have made this suit. There's also lots of experimenting. For example, these paws are lined. Many makers don't line their paws because they feel it's difficult, adds bulk, and in some cases when you sweat, can cause problems. And I will agree that there are certain cases where lining a paw is not good. In other cases, it is okay. For these bunny paws, bunnies do not have paw pads on their hands. So lining these paws was incredibly easy, because I really just had to sew fur with lining. Whereas something like the panda's paws that have paw pads, I would not line, and I did not line those ones, because it would be much more difficult. There's more bulk, gonna sweat a little more, but these are smaller and easier to use. So I lined these. Experience has taught me which paws I will line and which ones I won't. And unfortunately, that's not something you can buy or rush. Experience comes with time. And that makes fursuit making even harder if you're new to it. You can read and read and read and watch as many YouTube videos as you want. You're still gonna make mistakes and you're still gonna have to put in the time and the effort. Fursuits take time to make, to create, to learn. So that also makes it hard because there's no shortcut for this stuff. It is all man labor, human labor. There's no way to mass produce these things. They are all very unique. Each costume is one of a kind pretty much, and it's impossible to mass produce these by machine, because trust me, if it was possible, someone would have already done it. That's capitalism for you. So with that, you have to go about it the quote-unquote honest way of sewing by hand, gluing pieces, cutting fur, trimming fur. There's another one. You gotta be a groomer to trim the fur, because most furs come in a long pile, and if you want it short on the face, you need clippers to trim the fur in order for it to look good. Fursuit making is also hard because it does have barriers of entry. It is expensive to enter into this as a hobbyist, as a professional, and as a maker to make a one-off suit. It requires a lot of tools. Airbrush if you airbrush markings, clippers if you want to trim the fur, foam, fur materials, acrylic paints, resin if you're using a resin base, a 3D printer if you 3D print your heads, upholstery foam, scissors, and an electric carver if you use high density foam. So there is a lot, and it really does add up. So if you are watching this and wondering why you aren't performing as well as Phoenix Wolf or More for Less or Beetle Cat or literally, I don't know, any other maker, don't compare yourself. It's hard to learn. And a lot of these people have years of either reading about it, doing it, or have friends that have done it for a long time, and they just have more experience. And it's unfair to compare yourself as a first-time maker to them, because you have not spent the time to learn it just yet. You're in the process of it, but fursuits are hard to make, and that's okay. Take your time. And as I have said in my previous video, 5 mistakes that new fursuit makers make. Definitely watch that if you haven't yet. But mistakes are gonna happen, and when they do happen, be sure to take your time, redo them, regroup, reevaluate, change things up if you need to, watch a few tutorials. And of course, not everything is gonna turn out perfect. It's okay. You might make something really good. You might make a lemon. You might make a dud. It's okay. That's part of the fun, and this fandom is unique, and we're all here to support you, and it's tons of fun. So don't worry about it. You gotta wear a lot of hats to be a fursuit maker, and that's okay. You're definitely not gonna learn them all in one day though. But I hope this video helped you not feel so bad about making a suit that might not have turned out, or if you're thinking about making a suit but you're overwhelmed by the daunting challenge. Just remember, don't compare yourself. You're on a different learning path than another person. Someone has more experience than you. You're just starting out. Or you've only had like a year or two of experience, and that's okay. You will eventually have 10 years experience. You will eventually be like all of these big name makers, where you have had a lot of experience. And unfortunately, you're gonna have to pay with your time. There's no way around it. But don't feel bad, because remember, everyone started somewhere, and everyone starts in the same spot. So that means if they could get there, you can too. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and if you liked this video, please like and subscribe, or share this with someone who you think might benefit from the video as well. And as I mentioned, this partial here is for sale. So if you would like to buy this suit, or you know someone that would like this suit, be sure to check out the link in the video description on how to buy it. But that's all for now, guys. I am Kuro from KemonoDungeon. Bye!